Hey guys, talking about Veronica today on Netflix. Just saw it last night. Heard all the buzz about how it was going to freak me out, how I was going to turn it off in the middle of watching it, and that did not happen. So here's what I want to say about this is spoilers. I'm going way spoilers. So if you have not seen this movie, please do not watch this video. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you things that happened. Um, Three or four people tagged this movie on my Facebook wall saying, you're a big horror fan, you're gonna love this. Netflix's scariest movie. And right off the bat, I actually felt sorry for Veronica because I knew once you get that type of hype, once there's a couple of media outlets that give it to you like that, you're doomed. Nobody's going to like your movie if I'm reading an article saying you're going to be so scared that you're going to want to turn it off. People are running in fear. People are moving. People are burning their houses, throwing out their televisions after watching this movie. I mean, you walk in expecting like the devil to come out of the television, right? But I was so upset that I read that article because I knew that this was not going to live up to that sort of expectation. So, we put the kids to bed last night. It was like 10:30. Popped it on, and I told my husband to try to like even scare him more. I was like, this is based on, stories that have happened. Like this is actually based off of something that happened apparently. So let's watch it with that thought in our minds, which is I always love to do that. I always love to go in and say, okay, if this were to happen to me in real life, how would I actually feel, right? And it's the Ouija board, and it was a little bit scary. The nun actually was great. There was a nun that she was blind, but she was still able to sense spirits, and she was like super creepy. Like every now and then, whenever she had a scene, I was like, she was good. I was like, she's a really good actress. This like nun, like she would go real close to the girl and start like smelling her. I thought she was gonna like lick her at one point, but I liked her scenes. I liked the nun scenes. The nun was creepy, but not enough to make me like turn off the movie. And basically the girl played the Ouija board in an attempt to get to her father. And of course, did not contact her father. She contacted some other being, and the being was following her around. He started to possess her, and throughout the movie, little things were happening to her family, to herself, into to everything. But they were inexplainable. Turns out she was possessed, and she was the one that was doing the stuff. He through his hand, basically, he was making her choke her siblings. He was making her. I don't remember. Some of it was just so stupid. So the only part of the whole movie where I actually was like, okay, this is a good scene was of course the last moment, the last, the finite moment of the culmination of, the possession, if you will. And there was a moment where the girl was trying to get her siblings out of the hotel, out of her apartment, sorry, and she was running and she was saying, come on, we have to get out of here. And the two little kids were running out. And she looked in the mirror and she realized all this time that she was carrying her little brother. She thought she was carrying her brother. She looked in the mirror and realized she was not carrying her brother. And when that happened, I freaked. I was like, oh my gosh, because if that ever happened to me, like if something was ever able to play with my mind in the way that I thought I was saving my children and I actually wasn't saving my children, that was scary. Like I actually got goosebumps. Like when I watched it, I was like, oh, because I mean that, like, as a mother, like you want to save your children, and she thought she was. So as a sister, so when that happened, I was like, oh, that's different. Like that was a good moment. And she ended up running back in and finding him, and she couldn't, she eventually she succumbed to it. She dies. I told you there's spoilers. He took her. And the very tail end of the whole story shows how this story came to be. The cops come in the exact moment where she's being possessed by this thing, and she's almost like in this awkward state, sort of unnaturally human couldn't do it position, arching backwards because he's actually holding her, but humans can't see it. and that's what the cop sees. And according to Spanish records in Spain, there is a report saying that they saw all of this. It's inexplainable. They can't understand it. There's a call showing her calling the police. He's in the house. You have to come and help us. They start the movie with the call. So, you know, in those moments you go, yeah, that is totally creepy. Like, that's definitely creepy, but not for me to shut the movie off. I mean, it wasn't that scary. And then the other part of the movie that I liked, I want to give a nod to the thought process of the whole thing, is there was black tar or black substance underneath each of their beds. And they found it out because their neighbor downstairs was like, you have this huge black like drip coming from your bedroom. What is that? It's disgusting. And they looked underneath their beds and they found all this black sort of tar underneath the bed. And so I thought that was different too, but I guess maybe that was written up in the report. I don't know. I want to go look that up. So that was like basic. But Bill, come here. Let me ask you, because I'm doing a video on Veronica right now. And basically the hype of it was the scariest movie you'll ever see. You're going to turn off the television if you watch this movie. It's the scariest Netflix movie ever, right? It wasn't.
I told you. It's like the same as every other kind of scary, spirit, haunting movie.
It just was.
Literally, the only difference was everyone was speaking in Spanish.
And that was hard. I know.
And that was fine, but that was like the only difference to me, other than like, really.
I know.
I don't know.
I didn't like it.
No.
I mean, look, I want to give it a thumbs down.
No. It was just fine.
But it just was like it could have been. It could have been.
It was like, what are all those other movies you've seen? Like the haunting,
right,
and the
exactly.
this and the that.
Exactly.
It's all like the same.
It's
fine. If you like that, it's fine.
Right. We had a night watching.
Just go into it not thinking it's the scariest movie you'll ever see in your life, and you'll be fine.
And I said that's the worst thing that could ever happen to a movie.
Right.
Is to have an article say this is the scariest movie you'll ever see, because you kill a movie. If you want to help a movie, say it was okay. Don't say it's the scariest movie you ever see, because no one will like it. No one will like the movie if you say that. So yeah, so that's my Veronica review. I thought you would agree. We were like this after it was over. Like, were you scared when she was running out and she didn't have the boy in her arms? Oh, that scared me. I was like a little nervous about that. That made me nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, if I was running and I didn't have Caleb, I thought I had Caleb and I didn't have him, that would scare me. You didn't care about that. Was there any point that had you like a little scared? Did the shadow scare you? Did the nun scare you? No, this is what I'm talking about.
I've seen scarier movies.
Yeah, me too. I hate to do this. But actually, I'm underhyping it, so hopefully when you watch it, you'll like it.
Yeah,
I'm actually helping this movie by saying
Listen, it wasn't bad. You'll not watch it and say,
it's
man,
fine.
I can't believe I wasted my time on that.
Right. It was good.
But it was fine.
It was not the best movie you'll ever see. Please. Go in going, whatever. I'm going to spend an hour and a half watching a whatever movie. And then hopefully you'll like it. That's it. All right. Until next time.